Welcome back, you beautiful people, and today is that day where I say yes to that video that you keep asking me to do, and that is how to ride super steep lips. Okay, look how steep this is. This, my friends, can be very, very intimidating. Riding steep lips with gaps is scary because you're gonna have to be super confident when it comes to a steep lip like this with the gap. Now, before we even get into the gap steep jump section, let's move over to the tabletop. Now, the great thing about the tabletop is when it is steep, you can start to learn the technique off this table, off this lip, because it is going to pop you. It is going to fire you in a different way. So your body position is going to be different to when you are riding a really mellow lip. Now, with a tabletop, you can learn your technique by popping and gaining your distance, and you can just land on top, which is pretty easy, pretty key. So you can hone in your skills on a steep takeoff. Now, let's move on to the technique. Right, let's break down this technique into a few simple steps before getting up into the air. And it all starts right over here at the beginning of the jump. And basically, we've taught this before, and you don't really want to be low down on your bike when it comes to steep takeoffs, just like this one. You want to be quite high up, but you want to start loading that gun. And what I mean by loading is you want to get into that attack position. You want to be quite central on your bike. You're looking ahead at that takeoff, and then when you start to come up that takeoff, you're basically pushing through that. This is the loading of the gun. You're pushing up this lip, and as soon as you start getting to this point here now, is the second step, is where you're going to start to pull that trigger. And when you take a look at the slow-mo, actually, as you can see, I'm standing up. I'm forcing myself up into the air. I'm bringing that bike up with me. I'm using that momentum from that lip to fire me up into the air. Now, to bring that bike into the level position in the air, you've got to use your hips. So you're going to curl your feet on those pedals to bring that rear wheel up. And whilst you're doing this, you're pushing forward on your handlebars just to level out that bike. Now, the next step is the landing. Okay, now you find yourself super level in the air, but you need to negotiate your landing. Now, it's just to curl your feet on those pedals as well to bring that back wheel up a little bit more. But whilst you're doing that, you're pushing forward as well to drop your handlebars. And you're going to land front wheel first, and then your back wheel is going to follow nice and smoothly. All right, so now you've been practicing on the tabletop, you're clearing it nicely, you're getting a little bit more air, you're confident. Now it's time to progress to a gap jump, a steep gap jump, just like this one right here. Now, when it comes to a jump like this, confidence starts to drop. It's a bit intimidating because there's a gap, the gap's bigger, there's a hole in the middle, it gets a bit crazy. But it's the same technique, it's just you're going a little bit faster and there's a hole in the middle that kind of gets in your head and starts to think, what the hell am I supposed to do? Now, when it wants to come to progressing in your height, it's all about that explosive, it's all about pulling that trigger a little bit harder. So standing up a lot harder, just be a bit more aggressive with it to get more height. It's not necessarily about the speed, it's all about the technique coming into it to get the height to clear the jump. But it's all about practicing to getting your height and confidence, because I struggled when I started up. I cased so many times and I broke some wheels. It was all part of learning how to ride steep jumps, because if you can ride jumps in trails just like this, you can ride anything. So there you go, that's how to ride steep jumps that you guys have been asking us in the comments down below. Hopefully this has given you a little bit more help on how to get out there and ride steep jumps. But if you've got any issues, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see another video on how to ride steep jumps, let me know, and I would happily do another one, because riding trails is super fun. But if you want to see how to build a small jump so you can learn how to jump, click just over here. Don't forget, hit the globe to subscribe, because You're definitely missing out on some rad stuff, and give us a thumbs up like. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!